All right, go.
I'm rocking with Don Kilam.
Let's go. These the views right here. A foggy day. You see how foggy it is? Well, we live in that motherfucking private life. Yeah. Yeah. I'm about to drop a lecture for y'all, man. Peace and love. How y'all feeling? Y'all see the views, man. Penthouse Suites. We're in Atlanta, Georgia, November 14th and 15th. Tap in. Tap in, Atlanta. November 15th, 14th, and 15th. November 14th and 15th, 2025. These the views. This the Penthouse Suite, man. A little messy right now. Let me show y'all something, man. Let me show y'all something. I'm about to drop a lecture for real, though. Show y'all something, man. Y'all tapping in that private trustee training? Yeah. I'm giving away $1,000. So I'm gonna give somebody a lucky winner $1,000. Y'all can tap in this raffle. I'm gonna give away free VIP training too next day. Yeah. They're getting both of these books. This is $500 value right here. This trust is really a $15,000 trust. Tapping with Don Kilam, I come to you. 3 days, 10,000. We'll get this together. Peace and love, though. Let's drop the lecture, though. Let's drop the lecture. Enough.
Recording in progress.
It's a nice crib. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is how we live in Penthouse Suites. We're in the penthouse right now. Much peace and love. I'm not a licensed attorney, tax expert. Let me take the congregation on slide. Let me see. Take the whole laptop outside. I look the Instagram films too. You know, this laptop don't do much justice. Almost 5 bands or 50 bands. Sitting on the table. About 50,000. Counting out 50,000. We're making this event happen. Get plugged back in. I got a great lecture for everybody. Whoever's up early morning with it. We up early morning with it. Peace and love. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. You're now rocking to the sounds and vibrations of your boy, Don Kilam, also known as Malik Kilam. As always, prosperity is your divine birthright. Only get started though. We're going to talk about tax-free corporate reorganization, okay? And we're going to pull from Gregory versus Helvering. This is a case law. Self and dissolve the corporation. And this is tax evasion versus tax avoidance. This was a tax avoidance maneuver because he upheld by codes and statutes in Supreme Court. All right, my apologies. I had to get on the Wi-Fi. I'm giving out that game. You feel me? So it's forms versus substance. That's what Gregory versus Helvering is going to teach us. Forms versus substance. So Gregory versus Helvering, this was a landmark decision by the United States Supreme Court concerned with U.S. income tax law. The case is cited as part of the basis for two legal doctrines, the business purpose doctrine and the doctrine of substance over form. All right, and substance over form. If you create a substance, you must have a form attached when you're coming to the public system, when you're dealing with anything in the public. So when you're taking stocks and securities, these are considered dividends if you're moving incorrectly, and there's going to be tax There's going to be a tax called capital gains tax. A lot of people don't understand that when they're dealing with trust and private corporations. But that's what you need to understand. And that's why I tell people whether it's a business or because a trust is ran like a business or a private trust or a business, you need to keep meeting minutes. You need to document everything. Everything needs to be documented. That's your private record. That's a private contract. When you go to court, they keep a docket sheet. That's how you know it's trust. When you go to a city council meeting, they keep the record of the minutes. That's how you know it's a trust. And all my Moors out there, if they go to the temple, that's how business is handled anyways. So Gregory versus Helvering, substance versus form. Understand that. Understand that private law is family law. Family law is private contracts. So as soon as you come into this realm, you create a contract with the hospital, which turns over your essence to the so-called deep state. You know what I'm saying? The violence statistics is part of the government. You know, the public government. These are private families that run the public government. People don't ever think about it like that. They don't realize that the government is private families. The United States Corporation. United States is a corporation. 20 U.S.C. 2002, Section 15A. So it's private men and women, private families that create the United States Corporation. Whether it's a state, whether it's a state corporation, a city corporation, or a federal corporation. You know, United States is a federal corporation. Your state is local government. Your cities are local government. Your counties are local government. These are private families. And this is why I need people to over and understand. So in the school today, I posted a document of how to opt out of surveillance with the government. I'm going to go through it a little bit. But you have to put these people on notice. So that's what I'm bringing. Because they're men and women. And they have to abide by rules. There's rules to this. And this is why you should understand. You should understand contract law and trust law. All a trust is a contract. Terms and agreements. So every time you sign a document with the government, you're signing a contract. These are constructive trust or expressive trust if you gave your verbal consent. So I'm going to go over this document. This is an affidavit of truth and a legal notice to non-consent to monitoring, stalking, and unauthorized surveillance. They need your permission to get your surveillance because we're opting in all the time. People don't even understand this. They're collecting data. They're tracking you. And in America, Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution, you have the right to privacy by any government agency, corporate entity, private individuals, artificial intelligence systems, or any other entity known or unknown, directly or indirectly, through digital, physical, electronic, satellite, biometrics, voice, facial recognition, infrared, or any forms of technological means. This non-consent includes, but is not limited to, a digital monitoring system, interception or tracking of my digital activity, including emails, internet browsing, device usage, software activity, cloud storage, and network traffic. Voice surveillance, unauthorized recording, listening, and speech recognition through microphones, telecommunication systems, smart devices, or any form of AI analysis. This is an affidavit of legal notice of non-consent. Physical tracking, GPS tracking, location tracking, or unauthorized surveillance through physical or digital means. You have to get out. You have to opt out of these systems as a private family member. Device intrusion, hacking, remote access, malware installation, or unauthorized access to my personal and business devices, including computers, phones, tablets, smart home systems, and any electronic equipment linked to my identity. AI and data profiling, collection, storage, and dissemination of personal data using artificial intelligence or data mining technologies without explicit written consent. Any entity engaging in these actions without my explicit consent is in violation of my constitutional rights, privacy rights, and human dignity and will be subject to severe legal consequences as outlined below. And then we give the fee schedule. Okay? Now the declaration is fully enforceable under the following laws and constitutional provisions. Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Protection against unlawful searches, seizures, and invasion of privacy. Now, I've seen someone just recently get $150,000 for a copyright infringement of collecting their physical data through digital means. First Amendment rights to free speech and freedom from speech retaliation. 14th Amendment, Section 3, prohibiting government actors from engaging in unconstitutional actions. Civil Rights Act of 1871 provides legal recourse for violation of constitutional rights. Electronic Communications Privacy, ECPA, protects against unauthorized digital surveillance. These are laws that you need to know. I'm going to say that again. Electronic Communications Privacy Act, the ECPA, protects against unauthorized digital surveillance. I'm going to say it one more time for the people out there in the back that didn't hear me. And if you want to tap into the school, text Private Life to 702-200-4900. Again, text Private Life to 702-200-4900. Tap into that Private Life, DK's Private Business Circle. Electronic Communications Privacy Act, that's the ECPA. It protects against unauthorized digital surveillance. You guys got to start opting out when you go to the stores. When you go anywhere, opt out. If you're not, the public, they're collecting data. Anytime you step out in the public, simple as that. You need to put the right people on notice. So when they show your footage or send your footage to all these alphabet boys, your face is blurred out. They're still going to capture your body movements, but your face will be blurred out. They can't use your personal information, your digital footprint in their collections and findings. Now, I'm going to break y'all some more game down that people don't talk about. This is Private Life Gang. You heard it first from DonKilam.com. Right here, right now. It is November 8th, 2025, 2:20 a.m. CFAA. This is Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. People don't even talk about this. And there's criminal penalties for unauthorized computer access. General Data Protection Regulations. Protection against unlawful data collections and AI-driven profiles for anything going to the European districts. Because I'm telling you, there's people in Germany looking at you right now. They're using data from your house. They got robots coming to your house now, cleaning houses, and I'm talking about them little vacuums, everything. They got people bringing food to your house with robots. They got AI cars out here driving people around. They're using your information. They're using your digital information to further their studies, and they're feeding into an AI system. The governments around the world are now running off a system. It's safe to say that the governments, people don't even know who their boss is or who they're working for anymore. And it's safe to say that most of the world has been taken over through a system, okay? We all live in some type of system, and people don't understand that. You got a social security number, that's a system. They scan you in. They scan your ID. You're in a system. You get your birth certificates now. They have bar cards. You're a system. You have a bar card. You're a product. You are a commodity to the United States corporation. You are its assets. So you have to learn how to take back your God-given rights. You live in a free country, and this is why they're doing this to you, because it's free. You have the right to opt in. You have the right to opt out. So with this, self-executing enforcement, this non-consent notice is in fact perpetuity and does not require reassurance. Any entity violating these terms automatically agrees to the penalties listed herein and waives all legal immunities. This notice should not be considered legally binding and enforceable in all legal. This notice shall be considered legally binding and enforceable in all legal jurisdictions. Failure to abide by the notice constitutes an open act of war against my sovereign rights and shall be met with full legal retaliation. We do not consent to any form of surveillance, tracking, or AI-based monitoring, hereby put all violators on legal notice of immediate penalties. Everybody needs a document like that. Tap into my private school, you'll get that. And you need to put the right people on notice. I put where you can look it up in the school too. So everybody doesn't know. I'm going to show y'all. It's so easy. It's so easy. I've been going on them for 2 years, I believe, this school. I just typed in where to send. Let's see if something pops up.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Peace and love, it's your boy Don Kilam, and welcome to Dream Keepers Radio, that private life podcast. You're here, tuned in with your boy, and this is brought to you by Follow the Yellow Brick Road by Don Kilam. Search the book on Amazon now. Go get the book and uncover the matrix and how the United States is operating in the financial marketplace. Much peace and love. It's not showing up right now. It's not working right now. That sucks. I can find it on my phone now. Okay, there we go. It's going slow. Internet's going slow today. I'll type in address. I made a post probably like a couple weeks ago in the school. And it tells you exactly where to send all these information. Every new administration, you need to be putting them on notice. Because I need you to understand, these are families running the government. I posted it on Instagram too. I'm trying to find it. Damn. Boom, here we go. So it says, who do I send my status, correction documents, and nationality updates to? So there's a keyword. It was 17 days ago I posted this. I knew it was a couple weeks ago. So where do I send? I typed in Treasury to find it, but just type in the search bar if you're part of the school. Where do I send my status correction documents? So put send my status correction documents. So you want to send it to the United States Corporation Company at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, of course. To Donald Trump, address him too. Brandon Beach, he's the United States Department of the Treasury, Secretary of the Treasury, 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue. Pam Bondi is Attorney General of the United States Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. Marco Rubio is the United States Secretary of State in D.C. Sarah Abrick is the Provost Marshal General of the United States Army, 2800 Army, Pentagon. Now, if you have your local General Assembly, you need to send it there. You need to send it to the governor of your colony, where the territory where you are near. And then the Secretary of the United Nations, 404 East 42nd Street, New York, New York. Send it to Antonio Guterres, the Secretary of the United Nations. Scott Benza is the Commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service, Department of the Treasury. So you want to send it to the IRS Commissioner as well. Now, put your governor on notice, your local attorney generals. If you have a chief judge in your federal district, send it to him as well. Any of the natural persons holding these present positions, they change every 4 to 8 years, every 2, 4, 8 years. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you're updating. When these people change, you need to put them on notice, okay? Continue to put them on notice. But I continue to update these things in my school at school.com/Don Kilam. Text private life at 702-200-4900 to get the link to the DK's private business circle. But that's what's going on, man. You have to understand that private families run the government. And in order for you to become part of this and to become a shot caller, truthfully, to have a say, is to create a private family and start investing in these things. Send them $50 to $100 a month, whether it's the local hospitals, local police departments, and make sure it's coming from the family trust and you have your family's name on the donor walls. Now, when it comes to understanding this, people need to understand why trusts were created in the first place, and that's to protect the family. Family is business and business is family. It costs to run a family. It costs. Everything costs. As soon as you wake up, you turn on the water. You turn on the lights. You're paying a private family. Every movement you make that costs you money, you're paying a private family. So everyone should be using a family business trust for their family. Think about what a church is. That's a private family. Don't they pay people's bills? So that's who should be paying your bills. Your private family, your private church, your private family trust. Trusteeship is learning how to make the family trust do what you're used to do. You don't have to do these things no more. The family trust is doing it. You don't have to worry about the bills no more. The family trust is covering the bills. It's going to pay the family expenses, the children's education, family vehicles, family housing. It comes from the family trust. A trust is a distinct entity separate from a person, but is treated as a person. It can do everything a person can do except vote. There's over 100 different types of trusts in the public. However, we operate with a private family business trust. Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution declares a state or government cannot interfere with a private contract. If it harms none, you can do as you will. Families created a Bill of Rights and the Constitution. Family law is private law. The private sector creates the public sector. Private law has been codified and turned into a legislative act, and this is what has happened as a government. However, your right to contract privately has never been taken away. No state can impair the obligations of a contract. So if the private family contract is to pay for meals, if it's pay for family housing, clothing, vehicles, and education, then it cannot be taxed. I'm not going to get deep with this today, but I need y'all to enter and understand this. This is why churches don't get taxed. They're private families. This is why the KKK don't get taxed. Freemasons don't pay taxes. These are all private families, and people are not understanding this. The Amish are not paying taxes. The trust takes care of the family. The wealth gets passed on to a family charity or contract instead of the offspring. The offspring take directorship. They take over trusteeship. The management. It's all nothing control everything. You don't need to register these things with the state because the state can't impair with your private obligations. Again, you do not need to register with the state because the state can't impair with the private obligations. Hence, Gregory versus Helvering. Their private there's no debt. There's no debt in the private. It's quid pro quo. Full faith and credit. The public is about debt and not a protected position because the creditors can come in and seize your assets. That's why it's not a protected position, because the public can come in, sue, and you could be sued and seize the assets. They come take your car. They foreclose your house. Wealth is always private, non-confiscatable. With a private trust, it's non-confiscatable. You need to understand which things like gold, silver, rhodium, platinum are non-confiscatable. I hope this makes sense. Family trust grows the wealth and protects you from taxation and lawsuits. This is how we know you're part of an informed family, because you're not paying taxes. Those who pay taxes are from uninformed families. America was established on being tax-free. You're not American. And that's what I want to get down to the Donald Trump boy. He says, make America great again. That's becoming an American national versus a U.S. citizen. A U.S. citizen is not an American. But American can be a U.S. citizen. There's a difference. United States citizen means United States business. That's federal law. And I can pull that up for everybody. That's important to understand. I already told you United States means federal corporation. So you need to understand that U.S. business is a United States citizen is a U.S. business. Let me just give you the code because this shit going slow. I'll pop right up though. So that's 15 USC 4724 E1. United States business means a United States citizen. The difference between a national, American national. You can look up the term. There's two different ones. Well, we're going to go to 8 USC 1101. Whoops, wrong one. 8 USC 1101. It's going to break down exactly what nationality is. And that's on allegiance to your allegiance to your state. Allegiance to your country. People don't understand that America is a continent. You got North America, you got South America. Continents. Mexicans are Americans. Brazilians are Americans. Canadians are Americans. That's in North America. Texans come from Texas. Do you follow me? People claim Africa all the time, and that's a continent. If you go to Africa, a Kenyan is not going to say they're African. A Nigerian is not going to say they're African. I'm going to let that sink in. If I go to Africa and I bump into a Kenyan, he's going to tell me he's Kenyan, and then he's going to tell me which tribe he's from. I hope that makes sense. Alaskans are from Alaska. Chinese people come from China. That's a country in Asia. Asia's the continent. You understand? I'm hoping that makes sense. Boom, boom, boom. These are definitions. I might just have to go to mine. 8 USC. I went to 8 USC 1101, but it's breaking down what alien is. I want to give y'all the right one. I want to give y'all the right one. The term national United States. This says let me give y'all the right one, man. That's not what I use. You gotta be clear about which code you use too, so my internet going slow today. Let me go to Google because I'm on Bing, and that could be the problem. I don't even use that. But 8 USC 1408, let's just go there. Let me look it up on my own. Nationals but not citizens of the United States. And national does, it comes from 8 USC 1101 A21. So that's what it is coming from there. So let me just click it because I found it. It's going to be under 21. The term national means a person owing permanent allegiance to a state. Your state is your country. Again, the term national means a person owing permanent allegiance to a state. When you break down U.S. citizen, U.S. citizen means United States business. So I need y'all to understand how to operate as a business. I'm going to break it down even a step further before I get off here. When you go into the court system, when you're dealing with these corporations, you have to be a corporation. Only an attorney can represent a corporation. When they say represent, they mean to represent the corporation. Only a corporation can step foot in the courtroom. They cannot deal with a national. Donald Trump says, make America great again. He's talking about becoming an American national versus a U.S. citizen. A U.S. citizen is a corporate slave to a United States corporation. These are the facts here. So learn how to make your family a private trust. Learn how to operate in private family trusts. Learn how to establish these private contracts correctly and learn how to rescind these contracts and opt out instead of opting in and get your privacy back. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, being a private banker is having ultimate privacy. In America, you're guaranteed privacy. Text Private Life to learn more to 702-200-4900. Text Private Life to 702-200-4900 and tap into DK's private business circle. Much peace and love. See y'all in Atlanta.
Flavor Flav in the building. Yo, Don Kilam, keep doing your thing, G. Hey, yo, check 1, 2. This is Flavor Flav in the building, you know what I'm saying? Word up. Hey, yo, make sure y'all check out the song bars, you know what I'm saying? Word up by my man Don Kilam. You heard? A Fresco King. Yeah, boy. You know what time it is. Make sure y'all check out the bars by my boy. All right? Flavor Flav in the building. Yo, Don Kilam, keep doing your thing, G.